Welcome all for the happy learning in data structures and algorithms, and today we are continuing with our fifth module, which is about graphs and sorting. Under fifth module we are going to discuss the sixth session, which is sorting technique. In the previous class we have discussed the two techniques, selection sort and the insertion sort, and in today's session we will be discussing the bubble sort and the quick sort. We'll start with the bubble sort. Bubble sort is the one of the oldest and simplest sorting technique. And the concept we have in the bubble sort is that we will be bringing the largest element to the end of the list. So whenever we perform an operation here, whenever we work with the working principle over here, the final output of that particular group should be that the greatest element should be at the end of the list. Okay, so this will be continuing with the several number of passes. So until we sort all the elements in the list. Okay, it is like a selection sort. Here we will be, how do we choose an element and how do we sort it there in the selection sort? Here we will be seeing that the greatest element will be sorted to the end of array in each and every iteration. Though it is each and every iteration, we call it as number of passes. So what we do here is the success of the parallel adjacent arrays are compared. So if your first element will be compared with the second element, and when the first element is less than that of the second element, then we will not disturb it. It remains as soon as the same. When the first element in the array is larger than that of the second element in the array, we keep swapping. This is what the logic we have, and we continue this process until the end of the list. This will be repeated until the end of the list. So this swapping will be continued. This comparison and swapping will be continued until the end of the list, and this single process we say that as an first one pass, and the second pass. So at the first pass, at the end of the first pass, the largest element will be at the end of the list. Now again we repeat this for the rest of the element in the array. So the last element will be freezed, and it will be it is the largest element in the array, and we again start comparing with the first element and the second element until we reach the n minus 1. So what is the last element? N. So until we reach the last previous element, we will be repeating this step, and this we call it a second pass. Now at the end of the second pass, last two element will be the greater element, and we will not disturb that. Okay, that remains constant, that remains freezed. The largest values will be at the end of the array at the second pass. Similarly, at the end of the third pass, last three elements, the largest three element will be at the end of the array. So this will be continued until we sort all the elements in the array. See here, we have 18, 3, 2, 23 and 21. Okay, what we do is first we compare 18 and 3. So when we compare 18 and 3, obviously 3 is less than that of 18. So we swap. So we swap that. So it becomes 3, 18, 2, 33 and 21. Now we compare the second element and the third element. So we compare 18 with the 2. Again 2 is less than that of 18. So we swap 2 and 18. So it is 3, 2, 18, 33 and 21. And since 18 is greater than, we don't disturb it, it remains. Now again we check the third element with the fourth, compare third element with the fourth element. Again fourth element is greater than that of the third element, so we don't disturb the array, it remains as the same. Again we compare fourth with fifth, that is we compare 33 with 21. So when we compare 33 with 21, 21 is less than that of 33, so we swap it. So until at the end of the first pass, what is the sorted array? 3, 2, 18, 21, 33. This is the resultant of the first pass. Now with this as an input, we continue our second pass. So we compare 3 with 2, and since the first element is greater than that of the second element, we go for swapping. So when we go for swapping, 2 and 3 are interchanged. So 2, 3, 18, 21 and 33. Now again I compare the second element with the third element, that is 3 and 18. So 3 is less than that of 18, so we don't disturb. So we'll leave that. Okay, then again we compare the third element with the fourth element. As usual, for third element is less than that of the fourth element, so we don't disturb it and it remains the same. Again we compare fourth element with the fifth element, it is same. Okay, fourth element is less than, so we don't disturb it. So until the end of the element we got 2 sorted. So at the end of the pass 2 we got the 2 elements which is sorted at the right corner. See, 21 and 33 is the highest value, largest value, and it is sorted. So at the end of the second pass we have 2, 3, 18, 21 and 33. So this will be the input to the third pass. So with the third pass we'll start again comparing the first element with the second element. So 2 is compared with 3. So first element is less than that of the second element, so we are not going to disturb it. Against 2 is compared with the third element, it is again less, so we are not going to disturb. Again 18 is compared with 21, again we are not going to disturb. So at the end of the third pass we get the 3 sorted element, that is 18, 21 and 33 are sorted in the list. Okay, so this will be remaining as the input to the next pass, that is the fourth pass. So the fourth pass we are going to compare the first 2 elements. So when I compare first 2 elements, 2 is less than 3, so no problem. So I again compare with 3 and 16, again I compare 18 and 21. So obviously 18 is less than 21. So at the end of the list all my elements are sorted. Clear? This is what the concept we follow in a bubble sort algorithm. What we do, we start comparing the first element with the second element. When the first element is greater than the second element, we swap. Otherwise it remains, and we start comparing the second element with the third element and the third element with the fourth element until the end of the element we will be comparing. So in each and every pass we will be getting one sorted element. So your always the sorted highest element will be at the right end of your array. So in the first array, at the completion of your first pass, the most biggest element will be at the right. And when you complete your second pass, last 2 element, highest element will be at the right end. So this is what the working principle of bubble sort. This is what the algorithm we have. So initially your I and j is 0, and we use the temp here to store the to swap your data. We will not be able to swap the element directly, so we are using a temporary variable. So the step to 4 to 9 will be repeated, and we'll see until your I is equal to or greater than 1. You will be repeating these steps. So initially we set the first element to be 0. Okay, and when we are going to compare I and j, when the first element array of j and array of j plus 1 we are going to compare. When it is greater than, we will be going to swap. Otherwise we will be it remains the same. So when you go for swapping, so first a temporary variable, you will be placing the element in j plus 1, and in the j of array of j plus 1 you will be placing the element which is there in array of j. When you do these 3 steps, the elements will be interchanged. Okay, then your j will be j plus 1 and I will be I minus 1. Why I is I minus 1? Because we are going to go from right to left. In the sorted array, all your sorted element will be stored to the right end of your list. So each and every pass, whenever it completes one pass, we will be getting one sorted element. The efficiency of bubble sorters, number of comparisons what we made in each and every pass will be reflecting your efficiencies. So it is based on the number of comparison you made. Okay, it is based on your size of your array. So it is efficiency of a bubble sort is of n square, and this n square is based on the number of passes that we perform. So we will discuss what is the advantage and disadvantage we have. Advantage is it is easy and easy to understand and implement, and here if for each and every pass we will be getting the one sorted array in turn, which is helping you to achieve the higher efficiency. When you go for the disadvantage, when your array size is large, again your efficiency will be less. Your efficiency is based on the size of your array, and for a comparison, since we are going with the comparison, there is a more number of comparison, and to do that comparison we need some resources. Memory has to be allocated, and the execution time also exceeds when number of comparisons the number of comparisons are more. This is all about your bubble sort. Now we'll go with the next sorting technique, quick sort, which is the fastest sorting method, and this sorting technique works on the concept of divide and conquer strategy. I will say you what is the working principle here. So when an array of data is given, when an input is given, we choose one element as a pivot element in a quick sort. What we are going to do here, we are going to choose one element in the given array as a pivot element, and we are going to implement our logic based on this pivot element. The element which is having the value less than that of the pivot element, we are going to store that to the left of your array, and the element which is having the value greater than that of the pivot element, we will storing that into the right of your array. By doing so, we can obtain a scenario that the value which is less than the quick sort will be at the left side of an array, and the value which is having greater than that of your quick pivot element will be at the right of your pivot element. See here we have 34, 99, 5, 2, 57 and 42. Okay, now we are going to scan from right to left. While you scan, we are choosing any element to be a pivot element. Here in this example, 34 has been taken as the pivot element. Okay, now we have to scan from right to left. Okay, and the element which is less than that of your pivot element should be placed in the left subarray, and the element which is greater than that of your pivot element should be placed in the right subarray. Okay, here, so what is pivot element is 34, so we start scanning. Okay, so 40 is greater than that of your pivot element, so we are placing it. So next, when you go to the next 57 is also greater than that of your pivot element, so we are placing that. Okay, next when you compare 2, so when you compare 2 is less than that of your pivot element, so I am placing that to the left of the subarray 2. And when I consider next element 5 is also less than that of your pivot element, so I am placing that to the left. But when I compare 99 is greater than that of a pivot element, so I place 99 to the right of my subarray. Okay, after placing that, what I do, hit here. Whenever the element is arranged, it doesn't ensure that a left of your pivot element are sorted, even though all your left of your pivot element is less than that of a pivot element. It doesn't mean all your left sorted elements are sorted one. Now we are going to apply a logic over there to sort the elements. So after segregating your pivot element based on your pivot element, the element which is less than the pivot element, you have placed that to the left subarray, and the value which is higher than the pivot element, we have placed that in the right subarray. But it doesn't ensure that the right sublist and the left sublist are sorted. For that, we are going to again consider the first element and the second element, and we are going to check the condition. If the first element is less than the second of element, we leave it, we will not disturb it. When the first element is greater than the second of element, we will swap it. Okay, this will be done until all the elements in the list is compared and scanned. Okay, that is why it is termed as quick sort. Okay, we choose a choose a pivot element, and the value which is less than that of the pivot element or placed towards the left, and the value which is greater than that of the pivot element or placed towards the right. But the right subarray and left subarray doesn't ensure that it is unsorted one. So to sort that, again we are comparing the first element and the second element in the subarray of left, and the first element is second element in the subarray of right. And when the first element is less, we don't disturb it. If it is first element is greater than the second element, we start swapping. This is what the logic we have. So we have initially our pivot element will be 0, and your next pivot element initially it is 0, and your left array you say it as lower bound, and right subarray you say it as upper bound. Now what you do, you are going to check. You have to compare your first scan from left to right, and each and every element is compared with the pivot element, and you are going to move. If the element is less than So what you do when you start with the lower bound, when you compare, you will be comparing from the lower bound left to right, and when you start with the upper bound, in the lower bound you will be incrementing your array to scan the element. In the lower bound you will be decrementing your array to scan the element from the right to left. Upper bound you will be moving from right to left, and the lower bound you will be moving from left to right. So when in case of lower bound you will be incrementing your array, and in case of upper bound you will be decrementing your array. So how long you will increment your array and how long you will decrement an array? Until you reach a pivot element. We know that your pivot element will be at the middle of an array. So until we reach that, we will be continuing with our comparison, and after comparing we will be incrementing our lower bound and we will be decrementing our upper bound until we reach the pivot element. And finally the element was there in the, what is there in your sorted list will be an sorted array. You see what is the advantage we have here? It is one of the fastest sorting algorithm among all the algorithm. Quicksort, as name implies, it is a fastest algorithm, and it doesn't require any additional memory over here, since we are not going with passes, or since it doesn't have more number of passes, it doesn't require any additional memory. Disadvantage what we have is when your size of array is more, it is very difficult to implement. The efficiency will be under the worst case. You have worst case efficiency when your list size is big, and it is complex compared to the other techniques, because again we have a sub arrays. So the working principle here, you have to choose a pivot element, and after that you are sorting that into left sub array and right sub array, again the left sub array, again you are checking. So the implementation part is complex in the Quicksort. This is all about your sorting techniques. Thank you all.